Now, with players around the league constantly signing shoe deals, it's crazy that there's actually been plenty of shoes the NBA has recently banned with fines that come with wearing them. Now, with some shoes in the NBA banned for branding issues, reflective material, or some other issue, this shoe is one that actually increases your jumping ability. In 2009, the Boston Celtics wanted to wear Athletic Propulsion Labs, also known as APL, super sneakers during the playoffs, and the NBA said no and banned the shoes. According to the APL, this is because their shoes feature launch and load technology that provides instant increase in vertical leap. The shoemakers also report that their sneakers have been extensively tested in a leading West Coast University biomechanical lab. However, the APL Concept 1 shoes were banned by the NBA in the 2010-2011 season. Now, although APL doesn't want to announce something like this to the public, they do in fact warn you about possibly not being able to use their shoes in some situations, stating the Concept 1 shoes may or may not be allowed for competitive play in your league at the college, professional, or recreational level. APL co-founder Adam Goldston recently talked about the NBA banning their product, and he said, "We're not exactly shocked to hear the NBA chose to ban our shoes. The load and launch technology not only provides an instant and dramatic increase in vertical leap, but the biomechanical testing shows that the player exerted far less energy as a result." When asked about what makes their shoes so unique, they said, "Load and launch technology works in concert with the rest of the shoe, so there's uniformity in the compression or the pressure that the athlete exerts down onto the device itself and through the midsole of the shoe, which is the load cycle. After all the compression elements are fully flexed, there's an explosive launch cycle that results when all the compression is released. The result is an instant increase in vertical leap." Now, present day, Jordan shoes are very popular in today's culture, but back during an initial release during Michael Jordan's rookie year, his shoes caused a ton of controversy, and they changed the shoe game forever. The shoe wasn't banned by the NBA for its flashy material or to boost your athletic skill, but instead it was banned based purely off of color. Over 30 years ago, the NBA banned a shoe designed by Michael Jordan in order to force their rules on color coordinating your shoes with your jersey. During the time, the NBA released a statement and said, "A player must wear shoes that not only match their uniforms, but match the shoes worn by their teammates." As the story goes, Michael Jordan was or would be fined $5,000 per game if he wore shoes of red and black Air Jordan 1s. The big problem wasn't the shoes, but more so the colors, and the NBA didn't allow Jordan to wear the Air Jordan 1s unless they had a decent amount of white in them. Jordan decided to still wear the shoes going forward, and Nike covered the fine. A game-worn pair from Jordan himself that year actually sold for $39,000 back in October of 2016, but Jordan actually wore these shoes in his first ever NBA game. Nike and Jordan even filmed a commercial because of this and still put the product up for sale regardless of the situation, and it became one of the most popular Jordan shoes ever. But also in MJ's rookie season, while he was waiting for his first ever signature shoe to be completed, Jordan ended up rocking a pair of Nikes that somewhat resembled his famous Air Jordan 1s, but they were called Nike Air Ships. Now, a common mistake surrounding the Jordan brand in the sneaker world believes that his Air Jordan 1s were straight up banned by the NBA. However, it ended up being the Air Ships that weren't allowed. Jordan was wrote a letter stating that his black and red shoes violated the uniform code, but the letters apparently dated October 18th, which was months before Jordan actually wore his ones in an actual game, and they'd only been made for a commercial for them up to that point. But regardless, the Nike Air Ships that Jordan wore during that game sold for nearly $72,000 back in April of 2015. But this entire controversy surrounding MJ led to him becoming the businessman off the court he is today. Air Jordan 1s were an immediate success upon their first release. A 1985 article from the Chicago Tribune mentions them selling out, and early orders and sales brought in over $55 million for Nike, and the brand anticipated selling between 3 and 4 million pairs in the first year of the shoe's release. The shoe was originally projected to sell around 100,000 pairs, but still continued to be purchased daily. Sports marketing guru George Belch talked about Jordan and his Air Jordan 1 saying, "What you have here is a once-in-a-generation athlete who's transcended his sport and become ingrained not only in the sports world, but in popular culture as well." With other shoes being banned for things like jumping ability and not having enough of one color, the Melo M10s were banned because of a piece of the shoe that threw off cameramen as well as people watching on TV. The first version of Carmelo Anthony's Jordan brand signature sneaker for the 2013-14 season featured a chrome heel, and while it looked cool, it created multiple issues. Lights from inside the arena reflected off the chrome, creating visibility problems for both people in person and on TV, and the chrome itself represented a hazard if it were to break off the sneaker. Jordan learned that the heel was an issue, so he created a version of the sneaker with a matte heel for Melo for the second half of the season. But the Melo M10 is unique in its own right, and Carmelo's even talked about the shoe and has some things to say about it after hearing the NBA wouldn't allow the chrome version. Melo said, "Tinker and I were focused on every detail, from the foot molding down to the little specs. We closely looked at the evolution over the years, what's your inspiration from then to now, and tied it into 10 years to make this the most powerful shoe I've had to date. If you see this shoe from afar, the chrome statement piece is the first thing you're gonna see. Combining that element with the M on the toe cap and the very first signature logo we created 10 years ago, we made a true anniversary shoe." Kyrie Irving has no doubt become a household name at this point due to headlines every year, but he too has been involved in shoe controversy despite being a face of the Nike brand. A few years back when Kyrie was still with Cleveland, Nike decided to put a futuristic spin on his sneaker unveilings when it used 2K16 and Twitch to introduce the latest signature shoe of Kyrie Irving to the world, the Kyrie 2s. After the release, according to Kyrie himself, the NBA hit him with a fine for debuting a new version of his shoe, a deceptive red colorway of the Kyrie 1s, during a game against the Golden State Warriors. Kyrie talked about this and he said, "I actually got fined fine from the league because it wasn't our team colors. I was pretty happy about it. Nike wasn't happy about it, but I was happy because that means they stood out completely. Unlike some of the other shoes in this list, the custom Curry 4s were banned not for the way the shoe was designed, but instead the way that Curry had them painted. Curry sneakers for the Warriors Chinese New Year game in 2018 got a lot of visual attraction from the league as well as fans. The shoes matched his jersey for that night, so what could the NBA have a problem with? Well, there's just one problem. Curry's jersey was made by Nike, just like all the jerseys in the NBA under a new agreement that began with the league in 2017. The visual elements that appeared on Curry's Under Armour shoes were only approved to appear on the Nike jersey, not a competitor's shoe, so therefore he couldn't wear them moving forward. Following the theme of banned shoes due to personalized customization, Karl Anthony Towns had a pair of shoes that were banned from the NBA because of a popular Netflix series. The 2016 style HYPERDUNKS that Towns had customized were all black and had a Stranger Things theme sprayed on them, which caught the attention of many fans and league officials. The league doesn't allow the promotion of any other brand than those that are directly affiliated with the NBA, which forced Towns to retire his freshly customized shoe. And most recently, Yeezy shoes obviously made a lot of noise over the last few years and were even making their way into the NBA. Kanye West recently took to Instagram and other social medias, making it clear that he was designing a signature shoe into something that NBA players would soon enjoy. But according to ESPN, Kanye's shoes, which would be the basketball version of his popular Yeezys, will be banned by the NBA because of the shining reflective material heel. The NBA could potentially fine shoes in violation of the NBA's footwear color restrictions, particularly because of the distraction it could cause for in-arena spectators and television viewers. Sports Illustrated reporters said that the reflective heel would be banned by the NBA without a doubt, but didn't say anything negative when asked if the shoe would be accepted if it was modified to a style without the reflection. Yeezys have made waves over the last few years, with many players wearing them before and after games. Although there's many top-tier players with their own shoes like LeBron James or even James Harden, Kanye's approach was for the middle-tier athletes that don't have their own shoe deal. With players no longer being required to wear shoes that match their team's uniform colors, the league still has an approval process for new brands in the beginning of a season. According to the NBA's vice president of outfitting and equipment, he said companies will typically submit sneakers for the first half of the season by early August, with shoes scheduled to be worn after the All-Star break required for approval by early December. After hearing that his shoes would be denied, Kanye took his thoughts to Instagram, saying that the sneaker had been in works for over 3 years and has gone through 300 plus examples to perfect this NBA style. Adidas athletes were expected to debut the shoe on the court during this year's season, but every year, NBA officials have to sign off on new designs from sportwear brands ahead of the game time appearance, and a source told ESPN that they would likely not be permitted, although a version without the reflective material could be. And we've already seen many players supporting earlier versions of Yeezys up to this point, especially when it came to the rare versions of Red Octobers. LeBron James and PJ Tucker were both spotted at times in practice and in games rocking the shoes, and Nick Young, aka Swaggy P, and Nate Robinson had also been rocking plenty of different versions of Yeezys during their NBA careers. Hey yo fam, what are you doing, bro? Click on this video, dog. You see this video right on the screen, dog? What are you doing? Click on this video. Seriously, bro, you need to click on this video on the screen, because if you don't, you're probably gonna trip down the stairs later. I'm not saying I'm gonna trip you, I'm just saying facts, you might trip down the stairs, all right? So just click on this video, we'll avoid that whole problem and things will be good for you, okay, bro? Just click on it, okay?